In Tai Chi, the image of the bows, as in the bow and arrow, speaks to the nature of our connective tissue system. Classically, one would consider us having 5 or 6 bows. So each arm creates a bow, the spine creates a bow, and each leg creates a bow. You could have 6 bows if you add in the bow of the chest, which you would get by kind of spreading the chest and the ribs a little bit wider. You could also consider the legs combined are a single bow, which integrate with a single bow of the spine, which integrate with the single bow of the arms and the legs, or rather the arms at the chest. So I like the 3 bows the best because I think it's the simplest way of conceiving of the postural system. It's easy to keep it organized in our attention, in our brain, as you practice. So let's just think of it as 3 bows and organizing it in the standing frame. Begin to build tension in the bows in the arm. Think of the fingers stretching a little bit longer so that you feel a connective tissue pull within the arm. Across the back, feel that you can pull the shoulder blades apart, while simultaneously you slightly hollow and soften the chest. All right, we could break that down into 3 separate bows, but let's just consider it as one bow in and of itself. You can create that tissue pull using awareness of the bones and the fascia, but you could also use imagery to create the pull. For example, I might imagine that there's a force outside of me that's pulling my body into that bow structure. So I'll do the same thing with the spine. So running from the crown to my tail, I'll start to pull it into tension, and I'll go more into a slight rounding pattern. And then with the legs, I'll think of it the same as I do with the arms. So I pull the tension as if someone is pulling my leg, my knee forward, and it's creating this tension in it that if you were to release it, it would be like an elastic release. So I feel that it gets my feet to kind of anchor into the ground. My toes slightly grip the ground as I do that. And I open the back, slightly softening through the front. And there are my 3 bows. As I come out of it, I still have a basic awareness of these structures, these 3 bows, and then as I start to walk or I move around, or I start to go into the form, I can practice with that primary image of having 3 bows which hold the body together. So storing the energy and then perhaps releasing it when you want to. So think of the bows as storing elastic energy. If you're going into some kind of a punch, sort of pattern. You're storing energy, and then instead of pushing, you'll have a little release. Store, release. Build tension, release. Build tension, release. Open the joints, open the fingers, release. Do a little less. Open the fingers, build tension, release. A little less. Open with a spiral, release. Open with a spiral, release. A little less, release. Doing it as a plie. Open as you come down, build some tension. Release, coming up. Do a little less. And even less. And less. And do less until you feel that you're not really moving at all. And you can begin to kind of appreciate the energetics of what it is that you're attempting to do. One more thing you could think of in terms of opening the joints of the hands is you could visualize that your hand is stuck inside of a pipe, so that you want to push through the pipe or you want to pull out of the pipe. Either way, the hand isn't going to move. So if you push into a pipe, what you're going to feel is that your fingers and your joints are going to start to lengthen, right? And you'll also feel, if you're grounded as you begin to simulate the push, that it spreads through the whole body, right? So you push and it's just like, oh, my whole body just feels like it's opening up a little bit and it's connected. And it's the same thing if I pull. It's just the other way of opening the joints. Both patterns are utilizing tension and compression, and they're organizing through the skeletal and the fascial connective tissue system. These aren't really so much muscle patterns that we're exploring here. These are more connective tissue patterns.